Collins, today, good afternoon, Lagos. Let's just jump right into it. Today, we'll be reviewing the recent slew of new taxes and fees being levied on the innovative industry in Nigeria. We'll talk about the new Uber product that just launched, UberWorks, in the US. But our main story today will be the hashtag Stop Robbing Us campaign, which is a campaign against police harassment and extortion of tech workers after an alleged arrest of a software developer recently in Lagos. It's fall weather. I think the temperature of this morning is about 70 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's not too cold and it's not too hot, so it's my kind of weather actually. Yeah, so before we go into the stories proper, let's revisit our last week opinion poll where we asked if you think Nigerian content creators are creative and authentic enough to generate significant revenue on Facebook and YouTube and online to contribute to our GDP. And guess what, Collins? 80% of the folks out there that responded said a capital yes, which is great. It's good to know that there's belief in what we can do in Nigeria and how we can monetize our creativity. So that's very encouraging. Yes, I was hoping for that, for that sound of acknowledgement. All right. In our first story, the Nigerian Senate has fully rejected the planned increase of value-added taxes by the federal government and is instead proposing a new tax on communication services. Earlier in the month, the Nigerian Federal Executive Council (FEC) approved an increase in VAT from 5% to 7.2%. The hike was expected to take effect by January 2020, but lawmakers have now moved against it. The Senate has presented the government with an alternative, a bill proposing a 9% tax on electronic communication services such as voice call, short message service, which is SMS, and multimedia messaging service, MMS. The implication of this bill, if approved, means that for every 100 naira of airtime that you buy as a consumer, you will only get 91 naira. The same rate will apply to higher purchases of other goods and services rendered by service provider in this space. Really, I don't know how to feel about that story, but to me, it seems like the government is trying to generate a lot of revenue from the innovative industry. But I think we have to find the delicate balance between generating revenue and encouraging entrepreneurs who are trying to make a difference in our market. In the second story of the day, like I mentioned, Uber has recently launched a job platform called UberWorks in Chicago. Uber says it's taken the past year to study and build tech solutions that can help positively impact a worker's shift experience and eliminate bottlenecks to finding work. Starting in Chicago, Uber is launching UberWorks platform that connects workers with businesses that need to fill available shifts for positions as diverse as being a prep cook, a warehouse worker, a commercial cleaner, or an event staff. UberWorks aims to make it easier to find and claim a shift. The question on this story is, do we think that a platform like UberWorks will work in Nigeria? No pun intended. But to our main story this week, Collins. Recently, a young software engineer was arrested by police in Lagos on his way home from work when he says he was stopped by police officers who searched him and discovered he had a laptop and then claimed he was an internet fraudster, popularly called as Yahoo Boy. His tweeted tale of alleged being maltreated by police has launched a campaign called hashtag Stop Robbing Us. And a few tech leaders in the space have issued a statement where they wrote that they are doing this to put an end to the common practice where Nigerian police profile young people because they are carrying laptops and other gadgets. I know media has been talking about gadgets all morning, all afternoon, and are calling for government to intervene. On Tech Roundup today, however, instead of focusing on the negative side of this story, we'd rather take a minute to look at the true difference many entrepreneurs and self-starters are making in our market today. We shine positive light on some of the creative solutions that have been introduced in our market over the past few years. And I take a few examples. One, payment for everyday goods and services. Today, we go around the country with the card in our wallet and we're able to pay for whatever it is that we want, physically in store, or even use our card online or use our mobile phone to make such payments. This wasn't possible about 10 years ago in Nigeria. People have come into the space to make this possible. Two, we've completely revamped our car purchase and selling experience. We have big businesses out there that have completely changed the way we sell our used cars, or the way we even buy cars, by automating the process and making it easier for users and consumers to do. Three, how about the way we watch local movies in Nigeria? Nollywood is buzzing with a lot of release of new movies every time. We now have platforms where you can legitimately pay to stream those movies at the convenience of your home or office. How about making financial services available to people in the rural areas? We now have agent services everywhere where, even if you don't have an ATM in your local area, you have guys who are called agents who can provide those services for you, where you can deposit money or withdraw money for your everyday use. And lastly, how about the guys trying to decongest our roads? How about the guys making transportation easier, making it easy for you to hail through an app an Okada ride from your phone and get on it and move from Victoria Island to the mainland and vice versa. For us and for me, these are the guys that we need to celebrate. And we, instead of law enforcement, stopping those guys and harassing them on the road. Yes, and also to point to the listeners to, the conversation we want to have. There's an opinion poll this week where we ask if you think the police should stop young men with laptops and other gadgets on suspicion that they are fraudsters. We'd like to hear your thoughts and opinion on that. But to find us, Tech Roundup is online. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's called Tech Roundup on YouTube. You can also find us on Twitter at TechRoundUp1, on Facebook at Tech Roundup, and you can connect with me on LinkedIn at Wale Faron. Faron is Faroun, Wale Faron on LinkedIn. Collins, I just want to say that this show is a great feedback channel for entrepreneurs who are launching innovative products out there. What I've heard in terms of comments from the listeners has been very insightful, especially around the transportation business that we mentioned. It's one thing to innovate and make life easy. It's a different thing to consider safety of everyone, including those on the road and those riding. And I hope that entrepreneurs are paying attention to some of the feedback that we're getting on this show. But until next week, I just want to encourage guys to go to our opinion poll on Facebook and on Twitter, TechRoundUp1 on Twitter and Facebook at TechRoundup, to please add their voices to the opinion poll for this week, where we ask about police stopping young men with laptops and gadgets on the suspicion of them being fraudsters. Until next week, Collins, it's been a pleasure.